2 weeks ago, the school system suspended Quinton Dixon over allegations he sent inappropriate messages to a minor. News's Haley Jefferson explains what we know about the investigation so far.
Michael, Sylvia, on January 15th, we reported that 44-year-old Quinton Dixon was placed on administrative leave by the East Baton Rouge school system. Today, he was found dead.
Hey, so picture this. A man who spent his days inside a school, a place built to protect kids, to nurture them, to give them a better shot life, is found dead, not somewhere random, at another school, an abandoned one, alone. And here's the thing that just doesn't sit right with anyone. The very same day he died, police had just signed an arrest warrant with his name on it. 4 counts, all involving a minor. So let me ask you something. Did he know what was coming? Did he see the walls closing in? And if he did, why did he choose that place of all places to end things? A school. Think about that for a second. Because this case is not just about one man and the choices he made. It's about a 14-year-old girl whose life got flipped upside down. It's about a system that was supposed to keep her safe. And it's about a family that's now left picking up pieces nobody asked them to hold. Before we go any further, if this is your first time here, do yourself a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Crime Lab Report, and tap that bell so you never miss a drop. We dig into cases like this, so you don't have to wonder what's really going on. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one, because it gets heavy, and it gets real. All right, let's get into it. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's not the smallest city in the country, but it's not the kind of place where something like this flies under the radar either. People know each other here. Neighborhoods talk. And schools, especially middle schools, they sit right in the middle of communities. Everyone is a kid, a nephew, a cousin who walked through those doors at some point. Westdale Middle Magnet School is one of those places. It's been part of the fabric of East Baton Rouge Parish for years. Parents drop their kids off there every morning trusting that the adults inside have their backs. That's the deal. That's the unspoken agreement. And Quinton Dixon was one of those adults. He was 44 years old. He'd been working as a guidance counselor at Westdale Middle since 2022. That's his job. Sitting down with young people, listening to them, helping them navigate the stuff that comes with growing up. Some of those kids are dealing with things at home that no child should ever have to deal with. And Dixon was supposed to be a safe space for them. That's literally what the role is. He was also known around the community. People say he coached football. Rettle Norman, someone who went to Glen Oaks Middle School and coached alongside Dixon, told reporters he knew the man. He called the whole situation unfortunate. And you could hear in his words that he genuinely didn't see this coming. But here's the thing about cases like this. The people who do what Dixon allegedly did, they don't walk around with a sign on their chest. They blend in. They're the ones people trust. They're in the rooms where kids are most vulnerable, and nobody thinks twice about it, because that's literally their job. That's what makes this so unsettling. So how did it all start? And more importantly, how did it come to light? It started with a walk home from school. That's it. Nothing dramatic. Just a 14-year-old girl walking home, the way she probably did regularly. And at some point during that walk, Dixon, a man who worked at the school she attended, drove past her. He stopped, he talked to her, and he asked for her contact information. Now, think about that from her perspective for a second. She's 14. This is a man who works at her school. Someone who, in her world, is basically in a position of authority. So when he reaches out on Instagram not long after that, it probably didn't set off alarms the way it should have. Because to her, he's not a stranger. He's familiar. He's part of the school. And that's exactly how it started. So Dixon has her number now. Or rather, he has a way to reach her. And between early November 2025 and early January 2026, that's exactly what he did. He messaged her on Instagram over and over. And the content of those messages, y'all, this is where it gets really uncomfortable to sit with. He told her she was attractive. He asked her if she had a boyfriend. He hinted, straight up hinted, that the two of them should be in a romantic relationship. He offered to drive her home from school. He even made comments about her appearance that no grown man should ever be making to a 14-year-old. According to the warrant, he told her she was cutting up to be so pretty and attached a fire emoji to it. And here's the part that really gets people. Dixon knew. He knew she was in high school. The court documents make that clear. He confirmed it himself during the conversations. And he kept going anyway. Can you let that sit for a second? He confirmed she was a minor, in high school, and he didn't stop. Now, this went on for roughly 2 months. November into January. 2 months of messages that police would later describe in official court documents as being, quote, consistent with grooming behavior in pursuit of an intimate relationship with a minor. That's not our words. That's what the warrant said. Grooming. That word carries a lot of weight, and it's not one law enforcement uses lightly. So at this point, you're probably wondering, how did anyone find out about this? Because if nobody had stumbled across it, who knows how long it would have continued? Here's where it gets interesting. It wasn't the school that caught it. It wasn't a parent who noticed something off. It was an anonymous whistleblower. Someone, and to this day we don't know exactly who, took screenshots of those Instagram messages and posted them on social media. Just put them out there for the world to see. That same person also handed the screenshots directly to the East Baton Rouge Parish School System and to the police. So within a very short window of time, this thing went from being a private conversation between a grown man and a teenage girl to being on the radar of both the school district and law enforcement simultaneously. Think about what that means for a second. If that anonymous person hadn't done what they did, this could have kept going. There's no reason to believe Dixon was going to stop on his own. He'd already shown that. January 15th. That's when the school system officially placed Dixon on administrative leave. The district said they were made aware of the allegations and responded by launching an internal investigation through the Office of Human Resources. At the same time, Baton Rouge Police Department opened their own criminal investigation, running parallel to whatever the school was doing internally. So now you've got 2 investigations happening at once. One focused on whether the school had liability. The other focused on what Dixon actually did and whether it warranted criminal charges. And while all of this is unfolding behind closed doors, while investigators are going through evidence and building their case, there's a 14-year-old girl on the other side of this who is just trying to live her life. She's in high school now. She's a kid. And suddenly her name, or at least the situation attached to her, is spreading across social media. Because that's what happens when something like this gets exposed publicly. The person who was supposed to be protected, they get exposed to. Tyler Washington, the brother of this girl, would later speak about exactly that. And trust me, when we get to his words, you're going to feel the weight of what this family has been carrying.
Y'all, help me understand, how could a grown-ass man with a bunch of kids hop in the DMs of a 14-year-old little girl, which happened to be my sister, my little sister. I'm not going to say, let me rephrase that, not grown-ass man, a ass nigga. A ass nigga hop in the DMs of a 14-year-old little girl. That 14-year-old little girl who was a former student at the school that you're the guidance counselor of the year at. And a student of a school that you're the head football coach at. Because now my little sister has moved on to high school, but you made it clear that you couldn't forget her from middle school, 12 to... It's Truman High School, failed my little sister. Westdale Middle School, failed my little sister. East Baton Rouge Parish School Board, failed my little sister. Imagine trying to explain to a 14-year-old why a piece of shit pedophile killed himself is not her fault. That's one of the most hardest things to do. And after the emotional fallout and aftermath after that, that's everlasting. Seeing trolls online, stupid, ignorant people blaming her, that's also traumatizing too. This is the aftermath of exposing the pedophile, because you have to expose the victim too. I ask that y'all help me give her words of encouragement under this post. Let her know that it's not her fault and the world is not against her. I would appreciate that a lot.
Tyler is the brother of the victim, and after Dixon's death, he spoke publicly about what this has done to his family. He sat down and laid it all out. No filter, no hesitation. And his words are not something you forget easily. He said this. He said that Truman High School failed his little sister. Westdale Middle School failed his little sister. The East Baton Rouge Parish School Board failed his little sister. 3 institutions. 3 layers of a system that was supposed to protect her. And in his eyes, every single one of them dropped the ball. Then he said something that really hit. He said, imagine trying to explain to a 14-year-old why a man like Dixon took his own life. Imagine sitting down with your little sister and try and make sense of that. It is not her fault, but she is the one who has to carry it. The emotional fallout from something like this does not have an expiration date. It just stays. And here's the part that a lot of people are not talking about enough. Tyler pointed out that when you expose someone like Dixon, you do not just expose him, you expose the victim too. His sister's situation is all over social media now. And because of that, she has been targeted. Trolls, ignorant people online blaming a 14-year-old girl for something a grown man did to her. Tyler called it exactly what it is. Traumatizing. He asked the public to step up. He asked people to send his sister words of encouragement, to remind her that none of this is her fault and that the world is not against her. Now, here is where we need to sit with the bigger picture for a second, because this case is not just about Quinton Dixon. It is about how we structure access inside our schools. It is about whether the systems we built to protect children are actually doing their job. Tyler Washington wants Westdale Middle held accountable. And honestly, that conversation needs to happen publicly. If a counselor had this kind of access to a former student with no real safeguards catching it until an anonymous stranger forced the issue, then what does that say about the system itself? The criminal case against Dixon is effectively over. You cannot prosecute a dead man. But the questions this case leaves behind are very much alive. So let me ask you this. What does it take for a school system to truly protect the kids walking through its doors? And if it took a stranger on social media to blow this wide open, where does that leave every other child who might not be so lucky? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is the kind of case that deserves a real conversation, not just a scroll past. If this hit you the way it hit us, share it. Make sure someone else sees it. And if you have not subscribed to Crime Lab Report yet, do it now. We are not done uncovering cases like this. Stay locked in.